What is up, everyone? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video from my channel today. I want to do a quick update video on the Silicon Power micro SD cards. I think they're a great value. They're good performance as well, and so far I had really good luck with them, and I've had a lot of feedback on them, asking me questions about them. So I'm going to put that all in a quick update video on them and just let you know that they are real and they do perform pretty well, and I'm pretty impressed with them. So we're going to get into this video. I'm going to show you some of the other cards that I do like too as well. I do have another video where I break down a lot of the more technical specs, and I'll put those links in the description as well. But thank you so much for tuning in to DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If you've never tuned into this channel, just know that I am slowly growing this channel, slowly but surely, with great subscribers like yourself. So if you've never tuned in, just know I like to do reviews. I like to find items maybe that you don't see a lot of videos on, that are valued items that I think should be known out there. I like to do that. Do all the research for you, find all those ins and outs, give it to you as easy as possible, and then leave some links in case you're interested in some of the products that I review. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Please like, subscribe, and share. Join this Martini Nation. We are growing daily. So it's awesome with all the cool subscribers. All the feedback is positive, and we're like a community just working together to try to help on any of the products that we talk about. So thank you so much for tuning in. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification so you know when I put out some new videos. I'm always looking for items and putting videos out. So thank you so much for tuning in. So let's get to these cards. I'm going to go ahead and just break down the camera real quick, bring it in close so I can show you some of these cards, and then we'll go over some of the specs that I want to talk about today and just let you know what's going on with these SP cards. There's a few different models out there that I want to talk about, but basically they'll come in some packaging like this. I've been stocking up on them. I don't know how, if it's a new company or if it's a company that's going to stick around a long time. I'm not sure. I just happen to find these, and the value is really good for what you get. So I'm going to break you down real quick, show you the cards that I am talking about here, and then we'll get into some of the specs. And I just wanted to show you the cards that I'm talking about. So my two favorite cards right now are these 1 terabyte Silicon Power micro SDX cards. They have the V30 speeds. They have the app performance, which is always better when you're trying to use it for apps or gaming. So A1 is probably your standard basic form, to put it in layman's terms, but this is the pink card right here is what I will call it. It says it's the superior, but they also have a superior gray card here, but it has the A2 app performance, which is better. Everything else is about the same. It does have the A2 app performance, which is better, and I have it labeled because I don't want to confuse it with other things, but I am using it in my Steam Deck. Here's some other cards that I've been using for a long time, like the Ultra Plus, the Extreme. This is called their 3D from Silicon Power. It's a 512 gig. I also have the Evo from Samsung. All these I did a complete video on with some of the speeds and performance I got for downloading music and various things. But for app performance, I have to say I've been using these in my gaming machines. I currently have this in a 1X player that I'll be doing a video on here really soon. And it's working really good, even though it's only the A1 app performance. It's still working pretty smooth. I also have had, you can see some of these cards. I have tons of cards, including Walmart cards, which I've had decent performance with. They're really cheap as well. PNY, Gigastone, Samsung. All these cards I would recommend. They are pretty decent cards. Even the Walmart ones, like I said, have just worked. Depending on what you're using them for, music, pictures, things like that, especially the on ones would work just fine. But if you're looking for a little bit more of that app performance, I would have to suggest like the Samsung Evo or any of the SP cards with the app performance, at least A1 or above. You also have the Extreme, and then the Ultra Plus as well has the A1 performance as well. So any of these cards are pretty decent, and like I said, you're only going to be seconds of improvement depending on what you're doing, in my opinion, when you're actually using it for app performance. But all of these I've had really good luck with. The value when I talk about some of these is really going to come with these silicon powered cards. And you can also see that it has the Ultra SD 4K, read speeds 100 megabytes, the write speeds are 80 megabytes. I have seen improved speeds up to more than 80 megabytes, but that's what they're rated at. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff, and I just wanted to kind of show you what the cards look like. But this is the Superior. It is I call it the gray card, but it is an A2 at performance, which is something you definitely want to look for. I've had good luck with the A1 as well, which I call it's like a pinkish card, and then the 3D as well. They also have a game edition one, but I think it would be really similar to the 3D. So I think it just has kind of a different name, but I think it's very similar performance to the 3D as well.
We're back, and let's get into the reason why I'm making this video today, and that for all main purposes is that I got a lot of feedback from comments saying, are these cards real? What's the catch? Why are they so cheap? Those types of things. And for sure, there is no catch on this. These are real cards. Silicon powered cards are on Amazon and eBay, those types of things. You can find them. They are extremely cheap compared to other cards, but they do work, and that's no catch. They do work, and they are comparable to some of these other cards. Now, one of my favorite cards has always been that Samsung Evo card, but like I said, these cards are very comparable and they do work well. Now, the Samsung card does do things better than some other cards, and I will admit that, but the silicone power card, for the value, absolutely just blows that other card away. Now, if you're looking for consistency and things like that, yes, the Samsung is probably better, but like I said, value is just crazy with these silicon powered cards. So let's talk about some of the catches with these other cards and, you know, the value, which will really kind of put my point away. So I'm going to call these cards by colors, because silicone powered card has a pink card and a gray card that are both called the Superior card. So I'll say the pink is an A1, application performance class A1, and the gray card is an application performance class A2. Now, I will say the A2 is a little bit snappier card than the A1 for application performance, and that's just by, you know, standards of read and write speeds. A1 is supposed to be at 1500 and 500, and the A2 is supposed to be at 4000 and 2000, which is a lot more. So I would definitely say that the A2, the gray card, in my opinion, is the way to go for gaming purposes and, you know, your Switch, your Steam Deck, all those types of devices. But the A1 works just fine in them as well. I'm currently using an A1 card in my One X player. It will work just as good, but like I said, the A2 just seems a little snappier. Now, the killer is the price point. Now, if you go buy a Samsung Evo 512 gig, it is about $45. You can get that same 512 gig with the same specs and everything, but it will be, well, other than the A2 part, it will be $26 with a 3D silicone powered card. $26. That is ridiculous. Now, it is an A1 application, so you're losing that application speed a little bit, but other than that, it has all the other same specs. The V30, the U3, 4K capability, those types of things, still the same as the Evo. It's just crazy price points. So 256 gig 3D is $21, 128 gig is $16, and a 64 gig is $8. Those are really low prices for all those cards, and the performance that you're still getting an A1 application speed, which is really good in my opinion. That will work in most devices anyway. So very cool. Now, silicone powered cards do have a game version. I think the game version is really similar to the 3D version, so I think you're kind of paying for the game name on it. It is about $8 more at $34, and it has the A1 application as well, so it's the same as the 3D, but it looks cool and it says game on it. I'll flash a quick picture right now, and I think that's kind of what you're paying for at that. So if you're into that, you want it to say game on it, then you might pay a couple more extra bucks for that and get the same A1 performance out of that. The pink A1 card is $66, and the gray A2 card is $68. So still great values there. Comparing to a Extreme Scandisk, which is $120 for a 1 terabyte card, or a PNY that's $109 for a 1 terabyte card, you're definitely getting up there in prices. So that is half price compared to those cards, or very, very close. So you can see the extreme value that some people would be scared on taking a chance for using these cards. Now, one thing I will point out as a negative is the amount of total gigs you get with a 1 terabyte card. It varies, and that's kind of not good. So that is one negative, but still, for the price point that you're getting the card at, I still think it's okay. So on my gray card, I have 908 gigs on that card, so you're missing like 92 gigs there. And on the pink card, it has 928 gigs, so you're missing about 77 gigs there. So also on the 512 the 3D, it had about 470 gigs. So they are missing a little bit of gigs there. That is common on some of the other cards too, but probably not as much. Gigs are missing, but it is acceptable in my opinion, because you can still fill it up to those amounts and you have no issues. So have checked that, and it does work. So all these cards still work. I'm happy with them, like I said, because of the price point is phenomenal. So definitely there. They are very comparable to the other cards. The only thing I will say on performance wise was the consistency of some of the cards. And when I mean that, so for example, I have a video where I did speeds on some of these cards, and the Samsung Evo was very consistent downloading or uploading, writing, whatever, at the same speed. So say it was downloading something at 40 megabytes per second, it stayed really close to that. So maybe drop down to 35, up to 40, 38, 35, 40. It would stay very, very close to that. The silicon powered cards maybe drop more, maybe within 10. So they'd go from 40 to 30, and then up or down in between that, but still stayed pretty consistent. One of the worst ones was some of the Ultra cards, these Scandisk Ultra, where I'd get extreme, like maybe going up to 52 and then dropping way low to 22, going crazy in that type of thing. So the consistency probably wasn't there on some of the Scandisk cards, in my opinion, but on some of the Scandisk cards. But silicone powered kept it pretty narrow. The Samsung Evo was very consistent on the download speed. So, and maybe even that sometimes had higher speeds. So the Samsung Evo was probably one of the better cards that I've used, but at the same time, at the price point, I'm willing to sacrifice some of that for the extreme price that you get the silicone powered cards at. So I am going to definitely list all these cards in case you're looking for them, no matter what you're looking for. 1 terabyte, 512, even the game card, I'll put that in there so you can find a quick link to it and get to it, check it out. All right, I will also leave links for the Extreme and the Evo, because those are kind of some of my favorite cards as well. And you can kind of compare prices and mess around with that. So these cards do exist. They are a great value. So if you need a micro SD card or even a standard SD card, because most of them do come with an adapter, you'll be able to use that, check it out, and I think they're a great value. So I'm glad that I get to bring you an exceptional item that is a great value. I really like it. It's very, very comparable to some other cards, so I can kind of give a good comparison to these other cards because they're very popular. The PNY, the Scandisk, the Samsung Evo, and like I said, this card can compete with those cards. Like I said, I won't say it's better or worse, but it definitely can compete with those cards. and it's not a scam or anything like that. These cards do work. I can't guarantee that nobody will have a bad experience with these cards, but so far I've had really good luck with the 3 cards that I've had here, a 512 and 2 1 terabyte cards. I haven't purchased any of the smaller cards yet because usually I like to buy, more gigs, but so far so good, and I don't think I'd have any issues with any of the smaller cards too that are very inexpensive. So thank you so much for tuning in. I just wanted to make this update to let people know that these cards are still out there. They're a great value, and I think if you picked one up, you'd probably be happy with it. So I can't guarantee that, but like I said, that's my opinion. So thank you so much for tuning in to DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. More videos to come. Got all kinds of review videos and tutorials and all kinds of items. So stay tuned for more videos out there, and we'll catch you really soon. Talk to you later.